We do it.
Moving with the Shambok.
No shame, no, they're not that bad. Anisa sending salams to the team. The one person that I would like to spend that 1 hour with is my late dad. His smile, his laughter, and life advice is one thing that I miss.
And then salams. I love these nasheeds.
Mm-hmm.
It just brings happiness.
That's the idea. No, Imi, really?
Don't lie.
Imi, I'm not even going to read your message. I'm just going to say, no, shame. Don't do it.
Q says, salams, wishing my daughter a Mubarak 26th birthday. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her and grant her all her wishes.
Farida, assalamu alaikum to you. She wants to sit with her sister.
Nice.
Okie dokie.
Alhamdulillah.
Got a feeling there's a few other people feeling the same way. Ismail says, understanding is much deeper than knowledge. There are many people who know us, but very few who understand us. Deep thoughts early in the morning, Ismail Khan. And then Brian Abraham sending his dua this morning.
He says, this morning feels like a quiet mercy. A reminder that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still allows me to begin again. The sun rises not just over the world, but over my heart too. Melting away the weight of yesterday, I whisper, Alhamdulillah, for the breath, the light, and the chance to return to Him once more.
And he's sending his salams to everybody. Now, it's 13 minutes to 7 this morning, and South Africans are once again bracing for higher electricity costs after the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, approved steep tariff increases for Eskom over the next 2 financial years. We'll be discussing this matter with an expert in just a little bit on this show. Altaf Raouf will be joining us later on for today's edition of your legal segment on the program. Now, some of the news that we've been keeping an eye on: suspended Ekurhuleni legal head advocate Kemi Behari says that political interference derailed a disciplinary case against former chief operations officer Lesibe Mojapelo, alleging that it led to TC Ngqiza's pushing for the case to be dismissed. Testifying at the Madlanga Commission yesterday, Bihari painted a picture of a municipality where accountability buckled under political pressure and where attempts to enforce discipline at the senior level were quietly neutralized. Bihani said the Mojapelo matter was the only disciplinary case in which he personally became involved in during his tenure, precisely because of its seriousness and financial implications.
Outside of South Africa, the United States military has announced seizing a Venezuela-linked vessel in the Indian Ocean, a move that Washington said demonstrates its determination to enforce its oil blockade on the South American country, even halfway around the world. The Pentagon said yesterday that it captured the tanker as part of a campaign by U.S. President Donald Trump to cut off Venezuela's oil exports, which critics have slammed as theft and international piracy. A news agency reported that the Panama-flagged Aquila 2 had left Venezuelan waters in early January and was carrying 700,000 barrels of crude oil.
My question is, all of these ships carrying oil, right, that the US is saying they're taking, right? So seizing is the word being used in news, right? Venezuela-linked vessels being seized. What's happening to the oil? Like
international piracy.
Like, where's the oil going? We know the ship. You know, you're seizing the whole thing, this, that, and the other.
Why?
The crew.
Why?
What happens to the crew?
Yeah.
Right? Are they put on another boat or on an aircraft and said, well, they go home,
go back?
Or are they detained? What's the story with them? What's the story with the vessel? Somebody owns it. It's property of somebody.
Correct.
Or some organization or whatever the case may be. And then the actual cargo, the oil. What is happening with all of that? I'd love to get answers to those questions. Anyway, a woman is recovering in a hospital after surviving a terrifying 100-meter plunge down a cliff in Orby Gorge and then climbing back to the road despite suffering serious injuries. KwaZulu Private Ambulance Service was called to the scene on Orby Gorge Road at approximately 2 p.m. yesterday, about 5 kilometers from the N2 turnoff, following reports that a vehicle had gone over the edge of the cliff. When emergency responders arrived at the scene, they found that the driver was already at the roadside being assisted by members of the South African Police Service, who found her while on patrol.
Sure. Well, we're glad that she's okay and she'll be, on the mend pretty soon.
Sure. Like everything just flashed in front of my eyes. It's like, no. Picture like the worst case scenario, because it's been in movies your whole life, right? And don't sit there, you watched a movie, right? So the thing is, 100 meters, you're sitting in the car and you're holding onto the steering wheel, and this car is just going down. And every movie dictates that when the car hits the floor, it explodes.
Yeah.
Like all of them, or it just gets smashed to smithereens. And there you are, you're sitting. I can only imagine what was going through this woman's mind in the seconds that it took to go over the cliff and
you just read your kalima and close your eyes. So there's nothing else that's left. But look at her. I'm assuming that, naturally your body goes into shock.
Adrenaline's pumping.
She was able to come out after that, walk again, get to the roadside and say, please help me.
Yeah. Climb the cliff. The 100 meters go back up. It's like, wait, hold on. I'm not finished on the top. I'm coming back now.
Talk about initiative.
Sure. 7 minutes and counting to 7 this morning. TikTok ordered to change addictive design features.
Okay.
Yeah, I also read that and thought, wait, but what now?
But the whole app is addictive. What you change?
There you go. So if you've ever opened TikTok for 5 minutes and somehow emerged 2 hours later, knowing how to cook a pasta in a kettle, the European Union sees you and they're not impressed.
They found you.
They found you. Yeah. On Friday, the European Union told TikTok to change its addictive interface design or risk massive fines. So the translation, your app is a little too good at keeping people glued to their screens, especially the kids. Now, what's the problem with TikTok's design? So the EU's investigation found that TikTok's layout and features addictively encouraged compulsive use, particularly among young people. So why the EU stepped in? Under the Digital Services Act, big platforms are expected to protect users from harm, especially minors. Now, after a 2-year investigation, the European Commission believes TikTok hasn't done enough to assess how addictive features affect mental and physical well-being, to protect children and vulnerable users, to properly manage screen time and parental controls. Now, what TikTok may have to change to avoid hefty fines, up to 6% of its global annual turnover. This could run into the hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more. Right? TikTok may need to rethink the how the app works in Europe. So the EU suggested changes like breaking the endless scroll, enforcing proper screen time breaks, especially at night, adjusting how the recommendation algorithm feeds content.
Sorry,
TikTok.
Nishal, I apologize.
I'm not in Europe. I'm not in Europe.
The Breakfast Rush, brought to you courtesy of the Willowton Group, at the forefront of innovation and one of the leading competitors in the South African FMCG market.
There's nothing quite like the taste of a traditional family meal, and at the heart of every great dish is a key ingredient that brings it all together. That ingredient is Sunfoil pure sunflower cooking oil, made from only the finest sunflower seeds. It's the perfect way to enhance the taste of your family's favorite foods. Sunfoil cooking oil is more than just oil. It's the key to bring your family together over a delicious meal and making every bite taste better. Remember, the key ingredient to a great family meal is sunfoil. Tradition just tastes better.
This Ramadan, let's spread kindness and modesty. Many children and appas in rural areas cannot afford proper modest wear. I am Bibi Aisha Lehe from Phenomenal Family, and I will be collecting gently worn abayas, scarves and kurtas to help those in need. Please drop off your donations at the Al Ansar Foundation or call 031 208 1601 to contribute.
Every day's a good day.
Did you hear? Your favorite 24-hour dentist has moved? Crown Dental Studio, offering everything your smile needs, from general to cosmetic dentistry. Female practitioner now available upon request. Call us on 081 207 8621 to schedule your next appointment. Or visit our new studio at 26 McCuton Avenue, Durban North. Crown Dental Studio, your 24-hour dentist.
The Breakfast Rush, brought to you courtesy of the Willowton Group, at the forefront of innovation, and one of the leading competitors in the South African FMCG market.
The Breakfast Rush. It's the people's choice.
In the morning when I wake, you're there. Mistake. When you're by my side, I take this lonely world and strive. Every time you're next to me, I get that sweet serenity, the heavenly sweet love, heavenly sweet love. Coming from way up above. It's a love, sweet love. Sweet love. One day I have to say goodbye when I cross over to the other side. But here you wait for me until we can spend eternity. Every time you're next to me, I get that sweet serenity, the heavenly sweet love, heavenly sweet love. Coming from way up above. It's a heavenly sweet. And on that celestial day, we'll cross together. You lead the way. You lead the way into love. Sweetest love. Will you see what I see? How you always gave to me the heavenly sweet love. Sweet love. Above. It's a love, sweet love. The heavenly sweet love. Heavenly sweet love. From way above. It's a love, sweet love. Heavenly sweet love.
ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذريتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما.
Ilyas Mao on that recording, bringing us up to 7 this morning. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, turn it up a little bit. We'll get to your main news bulletin next. So if you're looking for information as to what's been happening in and around the world, here it comes.
The Breakfast Rush Main News Bulletin.
Making news at 7, 14-year-old Sohail Khan from Manzimtoti High School completed his third mid-mamal with a special purpose, dedicating his swim to the 13 children who lost their lives in the Valscola transport tragedy. Good morning, I'm Tabila Duma. 14-year-old Sohail Khan from Manzimtoti High School completed his third mid-mamal with a special purpose, which was dedicating his swim to the 13 children who lost their lives in the Valscola transport tragedy. The young athlete who lives in Mkomazi completed his third mid-mamal in a time of 48 minutes and 43 seconds, balancing his demanding swim training with academics and a busy cricket schedule. He admitted that juggling sports and school was not easy. Reflecting on race day, Sohail described the favorable conditions and his strong personal performance. The Johannesburg Magistrates Court has postponed the murder case involving 25-year-old Mozambican national accused of killing Warwick Stark, popularly known as DJ Warris. The postponement comes after Armando Jacum Pakula withdrew his bail application yesterday, informing the court that he intends to plead guilty. Pakula faces charges of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and contravening the Immigration Act. Stark was fatally shot outside the Zambezi building in Johannesburg's Central Business District on the 16th of December last year. Pakula is expected to return to court with his co-accused, 44-year-old victim Teto Majola, who has already been denied bail. He also faces charges of murder, premeditated murder, and a conspiracy to commit murder. Meanwhile, the state confirmed to the court that the address of an informal settlement in Germiston was checked out, but no one was found at that address. It was also submitted that the identity document handed over to the state was not a South African. In more news, while Parliament's ad hoc committee is eagerly anticipating the arrival of a forensic investigator, Paul O'Sullivan, who will appear today and tomorrow, they also intend to write to the Speaker requesting an extension until the 6th of March. Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations made by SAP's KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, met yesterday to discuss housekeeping matters, where it was revealed that the committee will be hearing from O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan's appearance before the committee had been a contentious one, with the committee ultimately writing to the office of the Speaker of the National Assembly, Togo Titiza, requesting that she issue a summons for his appearance. O'Sullivan had previously requested a virtual hearing owing to safety concerns, while also having some demands. Yesterday, Didiza's office said that she welcomed the committee following the guidance that a further substantive engagement be pursued before resorting to the issuing of summonses. The Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Basic Education has welcomed the Western Cape Department of Education's decision to expel a group of learners involved in a bullying scandal. The decision to expel the group comes after a disciplinary process was conducted relating to serious misconduct. Chairperson of the committee, Joy Maimela, said it supports the decisive action on the part of the school and the WCED to uphold the discipline, protect their learners and staff, and ensure that schools remain safe spaces for teaching and learning. In October last year, video footage of the group assaulting a fellow learner by physically and verbally attacking him spread rapidly. The incident is alleged to have involved the members of the school's first-team rugby squad. Maimela urged the schools across the country to strengthen their discipline framework, codes of conduct, and preventative programs to address misconduct early and to promote a culture of respect and accountability among learners. And finally, the United Nations has asked the United States for clarity regarding unpaid budget dues, as declining U.S. engagement puts the international organization under growing strain. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric said yesterday that while the U.S. Ambassador Mike Waltz said last week that payments would begin within weeks, no further details had been offered. UN officials have said that unpaid fees from the U.S. account for about 95% of all outstanding UN budget dues, as the administration of President Donald Trump decreases U.S. involvement in international organizations. UN Chief Antonio Guterres warned in a January letter that the international body faces imminent financial collapse on an account of unpaid membership fees. The U.S. and its top ally Israel have frequently criticized the UN and sought to undermine its agencies, which they say are in opposition to the national interests. Taking a look at financial indicators, the rand to the US dollar is trading at 15 rands and 90 cents. to the euro at 18 rands and 95 cents, to the pound at 21 rands and 78 cents. The Saudi Riyal is at 4 rands and 24 cents. Gold is trading at $5,031.14 an ounce, while Brent crude oil is trading at $68.93 a barrel. That's it for now. I will be back with the headlines at 7:30. For Radar Song News, I'm Tabila Duma.
Thank you very much. Tabila Duma, as she says, 7:30 headline. She'll be back there.
Breakfast rush traffic.
Superintendent Rauf, assalamu alaikum. Welcome back.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much. We have a truck coming down the M7 Edmonds Trail before the BMW traffic light by the concrete barriers of the left-hand lane, truck broken down, being repaired currently, but it's causing major congestion. Please, there by the intersection where the BMW is, major traffic congestion in the vicinity. Accident on the NC going towards Johannesburg after the M13 exit. Spoke about this earlier on. The right-hand lane is still closed. So there's going to be delays in that vicinity. Another accident, Edmonds Trails in Wakesley. 2 vehicles involved with this one. There will be delays in that vicinity as well. Just allow for extra traveling time, please. Heavy traffic on the M7 eastbound coming towards the bluff from Pinetown. But just be aware of that. Allow for extra traveling time. R102 as you go past the Tesla garage, after for Marshall turnoff, there's a truck lost some of its load on the roadway on the R102. So people are busy picking up the stuff. Be careful, people running all over the road. Accident on Main Road in Malvern near the SAPS. 2 vehicles involved with this one, so there's delays in the vicinity as well. Accident on the N3, okay, we spoke about this one near Key Ridge. That's another one. One in the fast lane we spoke about. That one is still there. This is now past that accident. Just as you get towards Key Ridge, just past the M13, left-hand lanes obstructed as well. So there's delays in that vicinity. Another truck broken down on the N2 southbound. It's after the Amgeni interchange M19 on the middle lane. The major delays on the N2 as you're going towards the Spaghetti Junction coming in from the Queen Nandi area. Please allow for extra time. The authorities have been notified. Hopefully the mechanic will come in shortly and have the truck repaired, or the tow truck will tow it away. That's your second update.
If you had an hour to sit with somebody on a bench and have a discussion, who would that person be?
My mom or my dad.
That's lovely.
And that is the answer that the vast majority, 99.9% of people had sent through. As expected.
Yeah, when they're not here, then you want to test it. And when they're here,
yeah,
I won't say more than that.
We'll leave it to that one there. Thank you very much, Superintendent Rauf. You take it easy. We'll catch up with you in a while.
Wa alaikum salam.
Halima says I would sit an hour on the bench with my mum Munira.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Lovely. Fahim picking up on the motor car brand advert during the traffic news. Yeah, we're going to have a chat with Superintendent Rauf. Imtiaz.
I hope Super's still listening.
Yeah.
Because Imtiaz says, I would like to sit with Colonel Rauf.
Now, here's the thing, Imtiaz. That could be a very, very enlightening conversation that you would have for an hour with, Lieutenant Colonel Rauf. Or you could find all those fines that you haven't paid and just make sure you do that. Shamim Hafaji says,
never underestimate the power of dua. Allah Ta'ala will grant all your du'as when the time is right. Ameen.
What is meant for you will come to you the moment you need it.
Absolutely. Even if it is in the deepest part of the ocean. Rashida says, salams, my late dad, Allah grant him the highest status in Jannah.
Ameen. We've got your headlines coming up at 7:30, but a reminder to you now, the Breakfast Rush, together with Al Ansar Outreach and the Ramadan Initiative, where you could sponsor a deg for 1,850 Rand and feed the needy this Ramadan and on the day of Eid as well. Our target, 1,000 1,000 DEGs. So Lilla only, you get in touch with our outreach department on 031-208-1601. They'll be too happy to give you banking details and all of that. Now remember, it could be just you as an individual doing a DEG or 10, whatever you can afford. Or it could be you and maybe your siblings, your family getting together, pooling money and saying, right, we're going to do 1, we're going to do 5, we're going to do 10. It happens. We've had this over the years. Even colleagues in various different departments of the business getting together and saying, right, this department is going to do 5, and they're challenging the other departments to come through and say, let's do this. Now, it may not be a company initiative. It may be individuals that are getting together and saying, look, it's 1,850 Rand for a DEG. There's 10 of us here. If we put in 185 Rand each, we can get 1.
Done. Put it on your social groups, put it on the coffee machine at work if you must. And today, paddle is very popular.
Paddle is popular?
Talk to your gym group. Talk to the people that you play paddle with. And let's make it happen. Let's feed those that need it the most.
Let's do exactly that. Professor Vali Padiachi is standing by to tell us all about how you're going to be spending more money on electricity, whether you like it or not.
The Breakfast Rush, brought to you courtesy of the Willow Tin Group, at the forefront of innovation, and one of the leading competitors in the South African FMCG market.
There's nothing quite like the taste of a traditional family meal, and at the heart of every great dish is a key ingredient that brings it all together. That ingredient is Sunfoil pure sunflower cooking oil, made from only the finest sunflower seeds. It's a perfect way to enhance the taste of your family's favorite foods. Sunfoil cooking oil is more than just oil. It's the key to bring your family together over a delicious meal and making every bite taste better. Remember, the key ingredient to a great family meal is sunfoil. Tradition just tastes better.
This Ramadan, give the gift of clean water with Africa Muslims Agency. With every water well or borehole you donate, your drop becomes a river. Reconnecting communities to nourishment, education, dignity, and empowerment. Sponsor a water well for 16,500 Rand in Africa, or a borehole for 65,000 Rand in Afghanistan or Africa. Quench the thirst. Reconnect the soul with Africa Muslims Agency.
Eid is coming and every child dreams of dressing up. But sadly, many little ones might not. Join me, Razia Rangwage. And me, Fatima Karim. As we race to clothe every deserving child this Eid. For just 1,000 Rand, you can give a complete outfit. Zakat and Lillah welcome. Call Outreach now on 031-208-1601 and bring joy to a child's Eid.
The Breakfast Rush, brought to you courtesy of the Willow Tin Group, at the forefront of innovation, and one of the leading competitors in the South African FMCG market.
South Africans are once again bracing for higher electricity costs after the National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, approved steep tariff increases for Eskom over the next 2 financial years. Electricity prices will increase by 8.76% from April this year, followed by another 8.83% in April 2027. A decision that comes after a high court ordered the regulator to reopen its tariff determination process and allow for public participation. Critics argue that while NERSA followed the letter of the law, the spirit of meaningful public engagement was missing, with concerns that the outcome was effectively decided. Joining us on the line this morning is power and energy expert and a former executive manager of Eskom and former senior executive of City Power Johannesburg, Professor Vali Padiachi. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome back to the Breakfast Rush on Radio Al Ansar.
Good morning and salam, Michelle and Nazrila. I'm glad to be back on the show.
Good to have you on, Prof. Why did NERSA revisit Eskom's tariff application in the first place, and what changed from the original decision?
Well, Michelle, that's an excellent question to start the conversation. There's a long story to this, but I'll keep it simple. When NERSA announced the Eskom tariff increases in January 2025, ESCOM had discovered errors in that calculation. And the errors related very simply to the generation group's depreciation and return on assets calculations. And ESCOM had indicated that there was a shortfall of 107 billion rand in the revenue calculation. And eventually, and we'll talk about it, when the process was completed on the 7th of February, it was 54 billion rand.
Sure. Now, ESCOM argued that it was short-changed due to miscalculations and depreciation, as well as returns on assets. From your perspective, were these errors legitimate?
Yes, they're absolutely legitimate because the errors obviously had to be proven beyond any reasonable doubt through documentary evidence. And that was done. And if you look at the tariff application, which I'm very close to, it's a very detailed document that gets submitted through months and months of preparation, and hence the data and information submitted is accurate, Nazbila.
So these increases come on top of already high electricity prices. What do these hikes mean in real terms for households, for small businesses and the broader economy?
Well, just to keep it simple again, Michelle, when ESCOM originally announced let's call it the incorrect tariffs in January 2025, for the financial year 26-27, customers would have been paying 5.36%, and for 27-28, they would have been paying 6.19%. Now, with the new increases, it's gone up by a whopping 8.7%, almost 9% for 26-27, and 8.83% for 27-28. So it's almost 9%. Compared to 5 and 6%.
So we're hearing more about the so-called utility debt spiral. Can you explain what this is and whether ESCOM is already caught in it?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. It is a technical question, bordering. Basically, what it means is that, again, to keep it simple, that with the consistent increase in electricity prices, of course, we had many years of load shedding, not so much now. Now we've got load reduction, the erratic nature of the grid, although we improved on the generation side. The customers are either leaving the grid completely or, of course, and they're seeking alternative energy like solar rooftops and other means. Now, once that happens, in simple business economics, once you lose customers and their revenue, there's no such thing as a free lunch. So to recover those costs, because you're running a big business, you increase the prices again. So once you increase the price again, you're losing customers again for alternative energy. So it's kind of a spiral dynamic, and hence it's called the utility debt spiral because you're losing revenue, and eventually it's not sustainable.
Is ESCOM's current tariff-driven recovery model still viable in a country where alternative energy, as you've just mentioned, is becoming cheaper and more accessible?
It is still viable, Michelle, because you need, to keep it simple again, you need both alternative energy, and let's call it the old energy, like gas, nuclear, and hydro, in a what's the word, a reasonable and balanced energy mix to keep the grid stable. Because if you don't do that, and if you have too much of renewable in the grid, you make it unstable. So that said, The tariff model may need a revisit, so that at the end of the day, you can have all of these excellent technologies and alternative energies, but you've got to keep the price of electricity down. And unfortunately, it's now unacceptably, astronomically high, which is messing up the lives of people, the economy, and it's not sustainable because the economy in due course will not be able to absorb the significant price increases. Michelle.
Vali, always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for coming through, and we want to wish you a wonderful day ahead.
My pleasure. Once again, thank you.
So that was power and energy expert, former executive manager of ESCOM and former senior executive of City Power Johannesburg, Professor Vali Pediachi. I know a lot of people are sitting down and scratching their heads and thinking, oh boy, there's almost 9% increase that's coming our way. How are we going to manage?
Correct.
I know for somebody who's going to look at it and say, okay, let's just round it off really quickly and make it 10 and say for every 1,000 Rand that my bill is, there's 100 Rand more that's going to be added on to it. So now let's look at your average household bill between 3,000 and 4,000 Rand. Yeah. That's an average of between 300 and 400 Rand if it was 10%.
April's around the corner.
And exactly.
A lot of people have said that they haven't received increases in plus minus 6 years.
Saw that yesterday. So how do we manage? What do we do? We reduce spend in other aspects of life in order to afford now just electricity.
Correct. But how much is there that you can reduce? Because inflation affects everything.
You stop taking your wife out.
Medical aid bills.
Yeah.
Some people are not even doing that. How do they survive?
Yeah. You stop taking the wife out, she starts complaining, but hey, listen, I'm sure she likes to have electricity. You stop taking the family out on the weekend.
That's why I say there are some people that don't even do that. They don't have the privilege.
Already.
Exactly.
Already. You don't use your car, every day like you used to. You now start looking for lift clubs to go to work and come back home because maybe it's cheaper than, the fuel bill at the end of every single week. Maybe you start doing that. You
look for a side hustle. Try and get a second job.
Keep it legit. You look for another legitimate way to increase your income. So what do you do, folks? How do we do this? How do we look at everything in life that is now increasing in price and then say to ourselves, okay, so here's my income, here's my expense. And the expense is a little bit greater than my income. So I need to do something about that and just increase the income. How do you do that? In this day and age in South Africa, where unemployment is sitting as high as it is, what do you do? What's your side hustle?
You have to work for it. You have to create one, because from what I see and the conversation we've just had, I don't see change coming anytime soon. I don't see a message coming out saying, we're going to decrease everything by 5%.
Good luck. Good luck with that one there. It's not going to happen. I'll tell you what is going to happen, and low prices that you can look forward to. We'll tell you about that now when we delve into what's coming through from our set of Vodacom stores.
The Breakfast Rush, brought to you courtesy of the Willow Tin Group, at the forefront of innovation and one of the leading competitors in the South African FMCG market.
There's nothing quite like the taste of a traditional family meal, and at the heart of every great dish is a key ingredient that brings it all together. That ingredient is Sunfoil pure sunflower cooking oil, made from only the finest sunflower seeds. It's a perfect way to enhance the taste of your family's favorite foods. Sunfoil cooking oil is more than just oil. It's the key to bring your family together over a delicious meal and making every bite taste better. Remember, the key ingredient to a great family meal is sunfoil. Tradition just tastes better.
Big city to big city. Winners wake up with the Breakfast Rush.
اللهم سلمني لرمضان وسلم رمضان لي وسلمه لي متقبلا.
It's happening. Ramadan is almost here and Al-Ansar shop is ready. Fresh dates have arrived. Pure, blessed Zamzam water is in stock. And all your Ramadan essentials are waiting for you. From iftar favorites to thoughtful gifting ideas for family and friends. Get prepared early. Beat the rush. Stock your home with barakah and blessing this Ramadan. Visit Al Ansar shop today. Call 031-208-1601. Al Ansar shop, your one-stop Islamic shop.
The Breakfast Rush, brought to you courtesy of the Willow Tin Group, at the forefront of innovation, and one of the leading competitors in the South African FMCG market.
This feature on The Breakfast Rush is powered by the Cellular City Group of Vodacom shops at the Pavilion Superstore 2.0, Entrance 6, Westwood Mall, Bluff Towers, The Workshop Durban, Megacity, Bridge City, Brookside Mall PMB, and the Nelson Mandela Square Stanton 2.0.
If you're an Apple fan, we've got the biggest sale ever for you, and it's open to all networks unless we tell you otherwise. The sale is so big that we promise to beat any advertised price on prepaid devices and gadgets. Let's start with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. As you know, it's a 5G device. We give you a free starter pack with this one. Prepaid 256 gigabytes at 29,499 Rand. 502 gigs on the same device, 34,999 Rand. If you want bigger, 1 terabyte, 39,999 Rand. Or the biggest, 2 terabytes at 49,999 Rand. This includes a charging cable. It's available in deep blue, silver, and cosmic orange. The device itself has a triple 48 megapixel camera across the board, rear 18 megapixel, and there's a lovely selfie camera on it as well. It's got Apple A19 hexacore, that's your chipset, Face ID sensor, 12 gigabytes of RAM on this one, and it's iOS 26. We've also got the iPhone 17 Pro. This is a 5G device. We give you the starter pack here as well. 27,499 Rand for the 256 gigs. 31,999 Rand if you're looking for bigger. That's 512 gigabyte, or the 1 terabyte at 37,499 Rand. This device has a triple 48 megapixel camera. It's got an 18 megapixel selfie camera. It's Apple A19 hexacore chipset. There's 12 gigs of RAM on this, and it's got a Face ID sensor, iOS 26. It's available in deep blue, silver, and cosmic orange, and of course, it includes your charging cable. We've got the iPhone Air, we've got the iPhone 17 5G, the iPhone 16 5G, the iPhone 16e 5G. We've also got the iPhone 14 5G at 128 gigs, the iPhone 13, every Apple device for the Apple fans. Come down now.
This feature on The Breakfast Rush is powered by the Cellular City Group of Vodacom shops at the Pavilion Superstore 2.0, Entrance 6, Westwood Mall, Bluff Towers, The Workshop Durban, Megacity, Bridge City, Brookside Mall PMB, and the Nelson Mandela Square Stanton 2.0, Vodacom shop. For smartphones, laptops, routers, asset insurance, gaming, IoT, payment platforms, and the latest gadgets to always keeping you in the forefront of innovation and technology. Home and business internet to ensure that you have the best connection. Plug and play home internet to fully installed fiber. Our infrastructure provides a resilient platform for your critical business applications, which will help your business perform best. Vodacom shop at the Pavilion Superstore 2.0, Westwood Mall, The Bluff, The Workshop Durban, Umlazi Megacity, Bridge City Kwamashu, Brookside Mall PMB, and the Nelson Mandela Square Stanton 2.0.
The Breakfast Rush News Headlines.
Making news at the bottom of the hour, controversial forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan is expected to appear before the ad hoc committee around 4 months after Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi requested Parliament to investigate him. Retired Acting Deputy Chief Justice Mbuyiseni Matlanga has accused Ekurhuleni's head of legal services, Kemi Bihari, of using his department to attack the Independent Police Investigative Directorate's fraud and corruption case against attender Premier Vusumuzi Kat Matlala's Blue Lights Blesser, Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi. And finally, authorities say 5 of 10 employees who were abducted from a Canadian run mine in Mexico last month have been confirmed as dead. That's it for now. For Red Island Song News, I'm Tabila Duma.
Thank you very much. Tabila Duma, 7:31 on this Tuesday morning. Hope you're taking it easy wherever you are. If you're on the roads now, got your last look at traffic coming your way next. So sit back, well, hopefully relax and listen.
This traffic report is brought to you by BYD Durban, proudly part of the Alpine Motor Group.
Breakfast Rush Traffic.
Superintendent Raouf, last look at traffic now. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much. Got quite a nasty accident on the N3 coming to Durban. It's after Hilton, now coming down towards Town Hill. Looks like the road is closed. From what pictures I'm looking at, everything's at a stop, complete stop. Road is closed. So traffic will be backing up all the way now, past Hilton, going towards Sidara. Please be careful. Approach with caution. Accident scene with multiple injuries on the NC. Okay, the same one. Now, this is a taxi involved with a heavy motor vehicle. So you must know what the condition of the vehicle is. I'm just looking at some pictures coming through. A very bad, very nasty accident. So, guys, if you're in that area, just allow those emergency vehicles to try and get through it. Emergency vehicles, if you're listening to me, the ramp before the accident, you can use that ramp and you can go control from the yellow line because the road is closed. To try and get to the accident scene to assist those people that are injured. M41 is a bit congested still, going eastbound towards the hairpin bend onto the M4. Southern Freeway as well, congested between Clearwood and all the way past the Steel Bridge, coming towards the city center. The N2 north and south also congested as you're approaching Spaghetti Junction, so just allow for extra traveling time, please. That's your final update.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Raouf. Much appreciated. You take it easy. Have a blessed day.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Abdullah, assalamu alaikum. Brother, he's responding to the interview with Professor Padiachi, and he's saying the poor will continue to suffer. It's so sad. A reality. It is. I know it's an election year and I shouldn't, but I've never done this. I've never said go and vote for a specific party or person. And I won't, because it's an individual decision.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, questionable decisions have been made over the last many years, right? And we're entitled to question, because that's how we learn. That's how we gain information. But here's the thing. When are you going to start questioning your own decisions?
Yeah.
You know?
What you are in control of.
Yeah. When are you going to do that? If you take your vote and give it to Nishal because you don't want to give it to Nazmira, you made a decision.
Mm-hmm.
You voted for Nishal.
Yep.
You didn't vote for Nazmira. But 3 other people voted for Nazmira, so she got higher votes. So Nishal's in there because I gave him my one vote. But Nazmira's got a bigger seat.
Yeah.
So now the power dynamic starts to play, and then when a decision needs to be made, Nishal takes your vote and gives it to Nazmira without your consent.
Pretty much. And I give him something in return.
Right? The ability to sit on the beach and pull his nose hairs while actual work is getting done in a municipal meeting. Or attend the municipal meeting and not go in.
Yeah.
Stay outside and enjoy the food.
Go buy a new car, Nishal. Just go.
No. We have to start thinking and making better decisions as society. I can't tell you what to think about and what decision to be, to make for you, for me, for society. But what I can do is encourage you to do the thinking. Because that's where change starts. That is where change, when you start thinking.
And you see it every day. You hear it in the offices. When you're driving on the roads, you see it. That, 5 centimeter pothole that's now 50, and I'm not exaggerating. Those, water leaks all over, almost every second and
people
third
talk
road.
about South Africa being a water scarce country.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just flowing down the road. Anissa says it's ridiculous that ESCOM is raising its tariff rates when people can barely buy the bare necessities with the minimum wage or grant that they get. Where's our councillors we vote for when we need them to raise their voices?
Valid question.
They're taking your vote and giving it to the bigger party. They're taking your vote and giving it to the other party. They're taking your vote and sitting on it and doing nothing. Are they actually using that voice on your behalf? Are they? You have to dig and find out. You have to be an active member of society. And the best way to be an active member of society is on voting day to actually wake up, actually go stand in the queue and actually make your mark. Don't sit on the sidelines after the day, after having not done that, and complain. We're complaining about you.
Think about it. Look, I can tell you in our own community, when we wake up and there's no water, it's those people that earn nothing, that have full-time jobs in other fields that will try and find a solution to the problem.
To the problem. 7:37. When we come back, we're chatting with brother Altaf Raouf on all things legal.
That traffic report was brought to you by BYD Durban, proudly part of the Alpine Motor Group. Come visit BYD Durban at 950 Amgeni Road. Explore electric and hybrid vehicles that offer comfort, safety, and long range. BYD is one of the world's largest EV and hybrid vehicle manufacturers. Our experienced team knows BYD models thoroughly, and they'll guide you through features, financing, and trade-in options. Book a test drive and feel the power of BYD. Stop by BYD Durban, 950 Amgeni Road today. Our team is ready to help you find the BYD that suits your lifestyle. Proudly part of the Alpine Motor Group.
The Breakfast Rush, brought to you courtesy of the Willow Tin Group, at the forefront of innovation, and one of the leading competitors in the South African FMCG market.
There's nothing quite like the taste of a traditional family meal, and at the heart of every great dish is a key ingredient that brings it all together. That ingredient is Sunfoil pure sunflower cooking oil, made from only the finest sunflower seeds. It's a perfect way to enhance the taste of your family's favorite foods. Sunfoil cooking oil is more than just oil. It's the key to bring your family together over a delicious meal and making every bite taste better. Remember, the key ingredient to a great family meal is Sunfoil. Tradition just tastes better.
At Checkers, our Steakhouse Classic range is crafted for those who take pride in every braai. Each cut is hand-trimmed by our expert butchers, perfectly matured and vacuum-packed for tenderness that melts in your mouth. From man-sized T-bone steak, beef tomahawk, and classic steak cuts, our butchery brings you over 21 Steakhouse Classic steak cuts to choose from, perfectly prepared. Checkers Saxony Westwood. Butchery, bakery, and deli, certified by the NIHT.
The Breakfast Rush, brought to you courtesy of the Willow Tin Group, at the forefront of innovation, and one of the leading competitors in the South African FMCG market.
The Breakfast Rush. It's the only way to start your day.
Ya Muhammad Pak Rasulullah, Ya Muhammad Pak Rasulullah, Ya Muhammad Pak Rasulullah, Maha Sohna Naam Rasulullah. Maha Sohna Naam Rasulullah. Ya Muhammad Pak Rasulullah, La ilaha illallah, Ya Muhammad Pak Rasulullah. Pehle Rabb da naam pukar miyan, Jind Pak Nabi to var miyan. पहले रब दा नाम पुकार मियां जिंद पाक नबी तो वार मियां तेनू गफलत नहीं दरकार मियां या मुहम्मद पाक रसूलुल्लाह अल्लाह 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 ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह अल्लाह 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 ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह जावा सदके कलमे वाले तो सोने उम्मत दे रखवाले तो जावा सदके कलमे वाले तो सोने उम्मत दे सोने उम्मत दे रखवाले तो नबी नूरी ताजा वाले तो पढ़ ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह या मुहम्मद पाक रसूलुल्लाह ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह या मुहम्मद पाक रसूलुल्लाह ला इलाहा
It's the 10th of Feb 2026. Assalamu alaikum. If you've just switched on the radio, where have you been? Like, really now? Where have you been? It is that time of the morning now where we get an opportunity to chat with our resident attorney, Brother Altaf Raouf, the director of a Durban-based law firm with a specialization in labor law. Has his LLB degree obtained from UKZN and also specializes in criminal law and civil law. Somewhat of a general legal eagle. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio this morning again. Altaf, assalamu alaikum. Welcome.
Wa alaikum salam. Assalamu alaikum to listeners.
So it's that time of the year again, right? Number 1 March. 1st March is around the corner, and to many, it's the start of the new financial year. Importantly, for those who are employers, it's also when the new national minimum wage kicks in. So, we touched on that briefly yesterday on the program, but you're here this morning to give us further explanation. What is the national minimum wage?
So, the national minimum wage is pretty much exactly what the name suggests. It's a national minimum wage that should be earned countrywide. Now, the minimum that you should be earning differs depending on geographic location, the position that you're in, etc. But theoretically, nobody, or save for certain exceptions, nobody should be earning below this hourly rate.
Mhm. Now, when and why was the national minimum wage introduced?
So the act itself, the National Minimum Wage Act, was passed in 2018. And it was gazetted for the first time, an actual national minimum wage, was around about 2021, 2022. So the objective of this, according to the government at least, is to provide a framework that provides a baseline earning countrywide that theoretically nobody should be earning below.
How does one determine what the new minimum wage should be?
Well, firstly, have a look at the Gazette. I mean, the Gazette came out last week, Wednesday or Thursday, I think it was. And you'll see that in the Gazette itself, it's broken up. You've got various different occupational levels. So when you look at the Gazette, interestingly, it's mainly geared towards the wholesale and retail industry, which employs a significant amount of people countrywide. Now, when you look at that, you'll see, for example, you've got your normal employees, you've got cashiers, you've got managers, you've got drivers, you've got forklift operators. So depending on your category, you'll see. And also, interestingly enough, it also depends on your geographical area.
So when you say it depends on your geographical area, how does this work?
Now, if you have a look at the Gazette, so the Gazette has two tables. So you've got Table 1, which applies to the metros and your bigger municipalities. Remember, we've got those 9 or 10 metros, I think it is.
Yeah.
And then you've got your bigger municipalities. And then you've got Table 2, which is basically everywhere,
Everything else.
not in Table 1. And when you compare them side by side, you'll see that the minimum for different job levels differs.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take one of the higher earning positions, for example, a store manager.
Right.
You'll see that a store manager in a Table 1 area earns higher than a store manager in a Table 2 area.
Mm.
Because those areas are more rural, and there's expectation, I think, that life is cheaper in those areas.
Expectation, sometimes not exactly reality,
yeah.
but that's another story. Let's get specific. What is the new national minimum wage, bare minimum?
Okay, so that is now going to be 30 Rand and 23 cents per hour, 30.23.
And when does this come into effect?
It's coming into effect on the 1st of March, 2026. So that's what 18 days time?
How many? Sorry, I'm going off script for a second because I just want to try and do a little bit of math. I'm terrible at this. So I've literally opened up a calculator. 30 Rands and 23 cents per hour.
Mm-hmm.
What's the minimum or what's the average hours that a person works per day?
So interestingly enough, when you look at those tables, it actually breaks it down
for you.
So if you're going on the minimum of 30 Rand 23 per week, that will be 1,360 Rand and 35 cents. And per month, that'll be 5,894 Rand and 40 cents, earning at that's national minimum wage. 894 Rand and 40 cents. That's assuming you work your full 180 hours.
The question about how do people survive, but then I don't think too many people are really interested in answering that question absolutely honestly. So let's just go on with the script, right? What do you do if you're earning below the 30 Rands and 23 cents per hour?
So I always advocate for trying to resolve the issue internally
first.
Yeah, speak to your employer.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, here's a copy of the Gazette. This came out.
Maybe they didn't see
maybe you're not aware of this.
Yeah.
Can you please sort it out?
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't work, you can approach the Department of Labor. The Department of interestingly enough, I dealt with one of these last year. So I'm just going to diverge slightly from the script.
Okay.
The Department of Labor would actually come out, do an inspection, have a look at your pay slips. They would then take enforcement action where they would fine the employer the underpayment plus a percentage as an administrative fine, which needs to be paid over to the Department of Labor. And I think the Department of Labor then pays you the short payment.
Right.
You can also approach the CCMA if you are being underpaid, and the CCMA does have that as well. But, interestingly enough, because, the Gazette deals primarily with the wholesale and retail sector, a lot of people who work within the sector are salespeople.
Right.
Now, I'm going to pose a question to you. What's when you hear a salesperson, what comes to mind?
Commissions.
Yes. Right. Now, as an interesting note, and this is more for the employers out there. An employee who earns commission only needs to earn 2/3 of the minimum.
Whoa.
As a basic?
As a basic.
As a basic.
Correct.
Right.
So let's call it round numbers just to make life easier. Right?
Okay.
We've got a national minimum of 30 Rand.
Okay.
Right. Theoretically, a commission earning employee, their contract needs to specifically say that they are commission earning.
Yes.
Needs to earn a minimum of 2/3 of the national minimum wage.
So they need to get 20.
So they only need to get 20 Rand an hour. Because majority of their earning capacity comes via their sales commissions.
Yeah.
Right? This particular client who the Department of Labor inspected last year, they got it completely wrong. These people were earning below the national minimum, but above that 2/3 thing. And the Department of Labor went and issued this blanket thing, the fines, etc. It came to about 150,000 rand.
Wow.
And I looked at this and I was like, listen, these guys have got it wrong. I put together this comprehensive opposing affidavit that was like, including anxious, going on 300 pages.
Okay.
We pointed out exactly where they had it wrong.
Yes.
And the Department of Labor refused to listen. Until it went to arbitration. And the commission is like, guys, you got it completely wrong here. But
so get a good attorney.
Yeah, but
Pretty much.
the crux of it and that specific thing that I want to draw attention to, for salespeople and commission, if you make sure your contract is structured properly.
Yeah. So as an employer, if you cannot afford this, what are the options?
Okay, so interesting enough, when you look at the Gazette, it says this is the national minimum wage, except for if you fall within the EPWP, the Expanded Public Works Program. I think that's something like 19 Rand some change. So let's call it 20 Rand an hour.
Right.
If you are falling under a learnership, there's a whole lot of tables there, depending on how many hours and the level of the learnership. But in general, if you want to apply if you as an employer can't afford that national minimum wage,
yes,
you are entitled to apply for an exemption.
Okay.
So you can head on over to the Department of Labor website.
Yeah.
There's a thing somewhere on there that takes you to a document where you apply for exemption. And here's the thing. The requirements are onerous. If I remember correctly from the last time I looked at the document, you needed to provide like 2 years worth of financials, and you essentially needed to show your business was in extreme financial distress before they would give you an exemption of that nature. Spoken to a few people, accountants involved in this.
Yeah.
They said, you know what, the level of effort you have to go through, it might not even be worth it.
So they try and make it difficult for you. Are there any other options?
You don't ever want to have this conversation, but theoretically you could look at retrenching staff. And also, again, you don't want to look at this option, but this always happens when a increase comes in. Employee hours get cut. So if you're working 45 hours, they'll bring it down to 40 hours. Just so that the store is able to survive.
So here's a couple of questions coming through from listeners now. Farooq is asking, is this rate for part-time or permanently employed individuals?
Okay, so interesting enough, the Gazette does thing. Look, either way, 30 and 23, full-time, part-time. And yes, this includes your domestic worker as well. I'm not sure if that question is there.
Well, it was coming, so I'm glad you covered it. What, for those people that don't know, might be few and far apart, what is a domestic worker?
Your maid, your helper, your cleaner, whatever term you want to use.
Yeah.
Your person who helps you at home.
The person that comes through and does your housework.
Correct.
Needs to get paid a minimum of 30 Rand and 23 cents per hour.
Correct. As of 1st of March.
Yeah. So I'm really sorry you sitting in the room with your domestic and she just heard this and you're like, oh, okay. Anyway, we're giving you the info as it comes through. Bilkis says, Salams, what happens in a case where you blocked from working in your scope of job and is underpaid? Will one get compensated from employer or at CCMA?
Sorry, Bilkis, I'm not entirely certain what you're asking there because my mind goes to through 2 or 3 different possibilities.
Right. So she needs to be.
I'm assuming she's something along the lines of maybe she's a qualified accountant, but she's been forced to work in some other sector,
right,
and earning a lower thing. If you can get some clarity, maybe I might be able to give a better answer.
Okie dokie. So Bilkis, send him an email. He'll give you an email address shortly. What if the employee does not have a written contract?
you should be insisting on a written contract. But even if there's no written contract, the basic conditions of employment act still apply, the LRA still applies, national minimum wage still applies.
Labor Relations Act, if you're wondering, LRA. Altaf, as always, pleasure speaking with you. Running out of time. We got to get to News at 8. Final words from you. And let it include your email address.
So, I was listening to the like I do every morning, I was listening to the show earlier. And, you asked a question about who you'd like to sit on a bench with.
Yeah.
And, there's two people who I think I'd personally like to sit on a bench with.
Yeah.
If I was allowed to choose to. And these people are look, one person is the ordinary and one person's out of the ordinary.
Okay.
So the one that I'd really like to sit on the bench with was my Nana.
Your Nana. Okay.
Look, he passed away when I was quite young, but he was quite the intellectual. He was an author, he wrote books, things of that nature. And I only remembered him as this very strict authoritarian. I'd like to have seen a different part,
the different side,
Yeah.
the soft side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other interesting person I'd like to sit with is Judge L.B. Sachs.
Oh, this one you've got to explain.
So L.B. Sachs was one of the first judges in the Constitutional Court.
Yeah.
Brilliant guy.
All right.
Lost his arm in a bombing in Mozambique or something of that nature by the apartheid government.
Okay.
And yet was one of the most forgiving and one of the most conciliatory persons you could come across. It's amazing some of the brilliant judgments that the man has written. And obviously because I'm in the field, he's somebody I'd like to sit down and have a chat with. But in any event, if anybody needs any assistance, you're welcome to drop me an email. It's altAAF@RAOOFLAW.co.za. I'll give it to you again, altAAF@RAOOFLAW.co.za. Might take a couple of days depending how busy I am, because I am in a busy period at the moment, but I will respond to you.
And you might sit with you on a bench for an hour. I don't know. Who would you sit with on a bench for an hour?
Truthfully, Sheikh Umar Rahman. I would love to. I get 5 minutes every now and then.
Yeah, you want the
Not
whole
enough.
hour. You want the whole hour. Alrighty.
Your Salah times for today. Zohar, 16 minutes past 12. Asr for Shafis, 46 minutes past 3. Asr for Hanafis, 52 minutes past 4. Maghrib would be at 10 to 7 this evening. And Isha, 13 minutes past 8 tonight. Have a lovely day. Be the best version of you.
Got a message from one of my friends listening in, says, Nishan, why do you want to sit with yourself on a bench when there's so many other people that you could sit with?
I understand why you say that.
I like that answer.
Tell.
I mean, the struggles you're currently going through. You know your future plan. You know what you want in 5 years. You know what you want in 10 years. You'd be able to sit with this person 20 years from now.
Yeah, and guide me.
Did it work out? Did we go wrong?
Yeah, and what can I change?
Yeah.
Literally, that's it. Whenever I see this thing on Facebook where it says, best piece of advice that you could give to somebody else, my advice is always just 2 words: trust nobody. It's a hard learned lesson over decades.
And a difficult one to practice. If
Very
you
difficult to
believe that
practice.
People would do to you what you do to them.
Yeah. No, I've learned that we don't live in the ideal world.
Yeah.
So the person that I would love to sit on a bench with for an hour is just me from 20 years, in 20 years time.
Inshallah.
And say, compare notes, as you mentioned, Altaf. Okay, what happened? What can you tell me to guide me through? Or what can you tell you to guide you through the next 2 decades?
We'll sit
That
with
sort of
that,
thing.
inshallah.
Philosophical conversations and what have you, yes. Family members, yes. Passed on friends, all of that, obviously.
Yeah.
Those are the obvious answers. Michael Jackson, maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Just to find out where he got the energy from. But that's it for the Breakfast Rush for this morning. We got to get you your main news bulletin. It's coming through from Johannesburg. Remember to pop an email through to altaf@rauflaw.co.za if you're looking for advice from him. Remember, you've got to give him as much information as possible so that he can churn out a bit of advice for you. That is that for TBR for this morning. You do good, you be good. Have yourself an amazing, amazing Tuesday.
Linen and curtains. Treat yourself to the beauty of designer jewelry, watches, sunglasses, and formal wear to suit your taste. Sedgers, your original family store where personal service is guaranteed.
For just 10,000 Rand, you can build a water well in rural Malawi with SANZAF, either in your name or on behalf of a loved one. You can contribute partially or fund a well entirely. Call 011-834-6046 to speak to our friendly staff. SANZAF, believe in the power of Zakah.
Sunbeam Steel, suppliers of all steel products. For carports, gates, burglar-proofing, fencing, reinforcing steel.